Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30 this Wednesday, February 11th, and it's time to wrap it up. So we have got a pretty interesting dynamic going. Employment situation came out a lot better than expected. The market tanked, and after that London close, we've pretty much been holding in a range. Not much action at this point. Going into tomorrow, we have a little bit of news. We got, let's see here, news for tomorrow. Um, we got the jobless claims number, existing home sales, and that's about it. 30-year auction. And then on Friday, we get the CPI read, that inflation read. That's going to be interesting. But I haven't really traded a whole lot since since the morning, at least on this one here. I've been cranking away on trading on Coinbase, banging in orders. Those nano contracts, yeah, it's interesting. It's a very different, a little bit different order entry. But I'm sitting here trying to sort out this stuff, and these guys don't have a sandbox. You had to trade. I'm had to trade with real money, do order entry testing and stuff like that. It's a little bit unnerving, but you know, it's doable. So anyway, so on the ES right now, we are still pretty much flopping around in the range. You can see on the profile. We started off this morning range bound. We were looking for some guidance as the news came out. The news popped the market. It retraced right back down again, and we're a little bit lower than we were in the yesterday's day session. So we're pretty much back in that range again, in the bigger picture, right, pretty much smack in the middle again. So range bound trading. That's kind of what we're looking at going into tomorrow. No big directional moves one way or the other. It started off a little bit this morning. Looked like we had a potential shot at doing something, but nothing really came out of it. So that was a little bit of a dud, I guess. Now, you're looking at the uh, well, looking at the trades for today. I had three trades early on today on the ES. I think it was. Let me see what it was again. I forget. Early on here, I was in and out here in the morning. I had a short trade going on. He got shaken out. Had a long trade here. Well, sorry, another short trade which ended up being a loser, and I tried another short trade which turned out to be a small winner, and that was it. Up 370 on those three trades. But you can see how crazy that was. It was actually very tradable if you can get in on it, and it's sitting that round to the downside. If you're looking at too fast chart, if you chart a little bit too fast, it looked as flat out chop, but it was net to the downside. Trading it from the short side was kind of the way to go with it. At least since the pop this morning did not turn out to be an extension to the upside, they're going to run it back to the mean, to the midpoint, or basically, or maybe try to take it lower, which is pretty much what they did. But right now we're back at 69.60s, a tractor area. I'm just kind of sitting there. So let's see what happens. Looking at the Nasdaq, I had two trades there. Same story there early on. Actually, towards the low, when the Nasdaq was down here at the lows, I was looking at the CD failure. I tried to get long once, got shaken out. I tried it again a little bit later when it was heading higher, and got in a nice little run, and that was it. And it just felt very much very volatile. So I figured, like, I'm just gonna stay out of this one for a second. So no, sorry, on the Nasdaq it was a one trade, two contract. I got in once and had to repair it, and then yeah, so that's what I did on the Nasdaq. So one trade, two contracts. But I'm up 61 on that one, so net up for the day. And that right now we're just kind of holding in a range, not much going on with that. So there we have those two, and right now we're looking at Nasdaq not quite getting up to that 700, so and holding kind of below it. So Nasdaq is still in that spot, but it potentially can take this lower. Cryptos are getting hammered. Coinbase is way getting smooshed. Definitely looks pretty gnarly on that side. So we'll see when those things start recovering. But I'm expecting, yeah, Coinbase is trading at like 150. They used to trade like over 300, so I cut it 50% down on Coinbase. And these guys just rolled out prediction markets and stock trading and futures trading, everything on their crypto app. So it kind of defies common sense, but it's going with the cryptos are going, so it's still getting a bundled into that camp. But anyway, going into tomorrow's trading, I'm just going to start off range bound. I'm going to adjust these edges a little bit, so I'm looking to buy against that 69.55s. against the 69.30s. We're going to sell against strength against that ledge here, not 69.77, 78. Against, I don't know, let see, I had to rethink those, but probably around about 69.85 as well. Rotations down up to that 60, up to that 7,000 range. So starting off range bound on the ES, starting off range bound on the Nasdaq, same story there. We have a pretty good range to lean against. Going to just adjust these edges a little bit based on today's trading. So range bound trading on both of those going into the overnight. Let's see if we get some action going into tomorrow's trading in the overnight. And then finally on the bond side of things, I did one trade on the bonds, and that was I tried a short trade on that retest. A bit too aggressive again. I was right up here at the mean. It looked pretty good though. I mean, yeah, it's a retesting a prior rotation at the mean, and you may not get a lot of time to do it. But it took a little bit higher, had a fairly bit of heat on that one. Had two shots of getting scratching it. One I didn't take. I kind of beat myself. I figured I was going to have to pay up for this one. And the second time I actually scratched it. So okay, fine, I'm scratching it now. So I got out, so pretty much one trade, one scratch, and that's it. But then they had a little rally to the upside and run back down. So not quite an obvious play today. A big reaction on the bonds today. So tomorrow we have a 30-year auction as well. So it could be interesting action on the bond. Back to the ES and Nasdaq, and we're kind of right where we left it. So net up $60 or so today, and that's about it. So we'll wrap it there, guys, and I'll see you back in the morning. You guys have a good evening. Later.